Good evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News this New Year's Eve 2019. Grant Olson is off tonight. I'm Jefferson Robbins. We've got a lot of news for you as the year gets ready to change over to 2020. Before we get to those stories, though, let's take a quick look outside our weather window where things have been changing pretty rapidly today. We saw a pretty variable weather situation around the Wenatchee Valley. This is our view from Turtle Rock. A few minutes ago, you could actually see out of that camera, but some precipitation, clouds, fog, the like have all moved in. We had a lot of clouds and some precipitation around the valley this afternoon with moments of sunbreaks here and there. But we're talking about even more unsettled weather moving into our area as we move into the weekend with features including gusting wind, some rain, and yes, the chance of snow. Eric Granstrom's going to be along a little bit later on with the full weather picture. Right now, here's a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A convicted sex offender is asking for a second chance at a softer sentence in Douglas County. A borrowed truck turned out to not be borrowed but stolen. And a mysterious figure is beginning to take shape in the snow at Mission Ridge. First, we begin tonight at Wenatchee City Hall, where city officials got a jump on the new year by starting their new terms. Incoming Wenatchee City Council members and a not-so-new mayor were sworn in on Monday. New to the council after winning their elections in November, Travis Hornby and Jose Cuevas. Sworn in for new terms were Councilwoman Linda Harold, she's been there a while, and Mayor Frank Kuntz, also a veteran. Harold defeated her challenger Jorge Chacon in the November election. Mayor Kuntz was unopposed for his third term. And speaking of Mayor Frank Kuntz, he says the city faces a financial hit in 2020 due in part to an increase in jail costs at the Chelan County Regional Justice Center. The city's share of the jail funding will add to a budget that already projects more spending than revenue next year. The mayor spoke about the looming budget challenges and how the city plans to absorb a 25% increase in jail costs in a recent In Focus interview with NCWLIFE's Steve Hare.
Well, that's a big increase, right? And that wasn't one that's not one that the city, we sort of knew it was coming, but we have to absorb that. We don't have other places to go.
So now, is this tied to the capital improvements they made at the jail?
Some of their capital improvements and I think some other sort of issues there. So again, they just sort of said you have a 25% increase. If everybody gave us a 25% increase, we would have real problems. So again, as you sort of look through how these things sort of work, we're able to absorb most of that and just through normal operations. But that always, that's a couple $100,000 a year, and so that's the difference between being able to hire another police officer if you wanted to on the gang front or on the homeless and some of the other things that you want to do. So it's always a juggling act, Steve. It's never quite perfect, but we do the best we can. We've got some great committees. We have a finance committee at the city that helps me put the budget together, so the council's involved in all of that. And again, it's always a bit of a juggling act, and we always, most local governments would like to do more things, and revenue seems to get in the way.
And the city's 2020 budget does include over $107 million in spending, with $81 million in tax revenue. It will require tapping into reserves. But Kuntz says the city has built that up over the past decade or so.
We took some major budget cuts back in the recession. And as we sort of put things back together, we're trying to do it very strategically as to, what's the new city look like? Where's growth going to happen? And so we're being very strategic about that. We did pass a budget. We were attempted to get a couple more police officers funded in that and didn't get it done. And that's okay. Council, they make those sort of policy decisions, and it's my job to execute them. And so we'll do the best we can. But we're in a way better financial spot than we were, say, 8 years ago.
Overall, the mayor sounded upbeat about the new year and what it will bring in terms of new growth and development. You can see that full In Focus interview on our website, ncwlife.com. Well, a Douglas County man imprisoned for sexual abuse says he was unfairly denied a chance at a lesser sentence. Robert Thomas Lamberton, who's 49 years old, pleaded guilty last spring to 2 counts of first-degree incest and 1 in the second degree for molesting one of his own adopted children. Prosecutors offered to recommend a special sex offender sentencing option, which would have allowed Lamberton to spend just 6 months in jail and go free on strict probation. But Superior Court Judge Brian Huber rejected that proposal and sentenced Lamberton to 5 years in prison last August. Lamberton now wants the Court of Appeals to review the judge's decision. He's confined at Coyote Ridge Corrections Center in Franklin County. A Kashmir man who borrowed his friend's pickup truck while his friend was in jail went to jail himself over the weekend after police determined the truck was stolen. Deputies found 33-year-old Thomas Ezra Roth trying to gas up the truck Friday morning outside Kashmir. He allegedly told them he'd borrowed the truck from his imprisoned friend, but the inmate told police he hadn't granted any permission. A trailer attached to the truck was also reported stolen, and at the time of his arrest, Roth was out on bond for an earlier vehicle theft. Well, coming up next, 3,000 insurance customers in Washington must shop around for new policies after one provider gets shut down by the state. It's apple drop time tonight at Pybus Public Market as the year clicks over into 2020, and fireworks laws are still in effect, so be careful how you celebrate the new year. I'm Jefferson Robbins. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
Come find your holiday gifts at Antique Mall at Cashmere this holiday season. With 15,000 square feet to explore, Antique Mall at Cashmere has something for everyone, from coin enthusiasts to avid collectors. For do-it-yourselfers, this is the place to find your next repurposing project. What a great way to make your holiday gifts for someone special, using your keen eye to make something old and new again. Discover your next holiday gift in the Antique Mall at Cashmere. Stop on by today.
Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house, fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
And welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Jefferson Robbins. If you're thinking about setting off fireworks tonight to ring in 2020, you should be aware you could be starting the new year and the new decade by committing a crime. In Wenatchee and Chelan County, for example, there are year-round fireworks bans in place. The same holds true for Kashmir and Entiat. Most other area cities and counties follow state laws. That means fireworks are legal from 6 tonight until 1 o'clock Wednesday morning. Of course, you could always leave it to the experts and enjoy a professional fireworks show in Chelan that starts at 9 p.m. tonight, or you can skip the fireworks altogether and go to Pybus Public Market, where there'll be live music, dancing, and the annual dropping of the apple at both 9 p.m. and midnight. Tonight's Pybus event is the market's 6th annual apple drop, modeled after the Times Square ball drop in New York City. The apple, which was first dropped in 2014, was constructed by Wenatchee Valley College instructors and students. Faculty members Bob Acklin and Zach Jacobson led the project to build a lighted aluminum apple that's 5 feet high, but weighs only 25 pounds. This year, the apple will drop at both 9 p.m. and midnight at Pybus at the foot of a rondo on Worthen Avenue. Well, if you're one of the 3,000 Washingtonians who bought health insurance through an outfit called Trinity Health Share, it's time to shop for a new policy. State Insurance Commissioner Mike Kreidler said this week the faith-based nonprofit failed to meet the standards for insurers to operate in Washington, and he's banned it from selling its high-risk policies in the state. He also fined the Georgia company $150,000. Open enrollment is already over, but Trinity policyholders can keep their coverage for up to 1 calendar year. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, a look at that mysterious figure that's looming over Mission Ridge, plus your complete local weather forecast courtesy of Eric Granstrom. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Stay with us.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating has been serving North Central Washington for 34 years. Arctic provides the finest heating and cooling air quality products for residential and commercial customers, along with prompt and professional customer service. Arctic also offers specialty services like custom sheet metal fabrication of ductwork, coil cleaning, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Arctic is available for emergency calls 24/7. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
At some point, we realized that value and practicality go hand in hand. A time when an unnoticed accumulation of items has become burdensome. These possessions still have value, but now lack usefulness. Donate your unwanted items to Goodwill and become a job creator. Your donations allow Goodwill to provide much-needed training to job seekers in our community, and that's pretty useful for everyone. Be a job creator. Donate. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
Some jobs are a calling. They take passion and a devotion to the community. They're here for your kids, guiding the next generation of leaders. At Gisa Credit Union, we help you support local teachers. Every purchase you make with a Gisa Local Heroes Affinity debit card, we make a donation to select teacher organizations. After all, we can never repay them, but we can do our best to help a little with the Gisa Teachers Affinity debit card.
And thanks for joining us for the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Eric Granstrom. An art project almost 4 years in the making at Mission Ridge Ski and Board Resort will be celebrated tomorrow with the release of the Yeti ribbon cutting. In 2016, Mission Ridge produced a video giving a sneak peek into what they were up to.
Project Yeti is a group of local Wenatchee artists who want to put a 16-foot tall scrap metal Yeti at the top of Mission Ridge. So we're standing up on the eastern slope of Chair 2 of Liberator Express, kind of between Ala and Tumwater. And this is where we want to put the Yeti, to be about, hopefully about 16 feet tall. I mean, as big as one of these trees right here. And this is an excellent view looking down on Chair 2, so when you're coming up, you'll be hanging out over. And just a really good spot. I mean, Mission Ridge is really iconic between the bomber wing and the towers and our vistas and our views. It's just a really beautiful spot, so we want to kind of build on that, keep that legacy going, and create one more piece of art that people can come up here and take pictures with and enjoy with their families. This is a really great spot. We have an engineer on our team, so everything's going to be able to be designed to be able to withstand the severe winds we get up here. Like a good Yeti, he'll be able to hang out and survive the storms, and hopefully he's going to ice up. We're doing everything that's going to be made. We're going to recycle, use a lot of recycled scrap metal to build the structure itself. And so when we get these rad storms, we'll be collecting the hoarfrost. So hopefully, you know, several weeks out of the season, maybe he'll be completely iced over. Gonna get abominable snow.
The Yeti at Mission Ridge looks pretty cool, by the way. Interesting bag of weather as we get to our weather forecast for North Central Washington, with the end of a year and the beginning of a new decade with a lot of stuff going on. In fact, you can see a lot of stuff happening on our camera from Sky-Fi. Wireless cameras here this afternoon looking down from up above Olney Gardens. Mixed bag, and that's really a good picture of what we've had today and what we're expecting for the next several days. Above that, you can just see a little bit of the blue skies peering through up in Mission Ridge. Probably a sunny day today, but definitely some snows, heavy snows coming from the mountains. We'll tell you more about that later on. Now let's take a look at the almanac here for the day. Now you're going to see this. You're going to say, Eric, you're smoking something funny before the new year. 48, what are you talking about? Well, that 48-degree high that we're expecting hasn't happened yet and will probably be around the new year tonight. So a high temperature that is happening during our normal low of the night. Now, that is all dependent on what happens with our wind. If we do get the winds forecast up to 30 miles an hour, it's going to create a little convection pattern. That's going to warm things up tonight and be strangely warm. 30, we started the day off, and you can see that normally that's about the high for this time of year. 23 40 is our normal low, and so we're all out of whack, and it's going to stay that way for quite some time. The record high temperature today, look at that, we're almost going to hit it tonight. If we do get those warming temperatures, 49 the record high back in 1998, and boy, did we have some severe weather on this date, and for the several days in a row. In 1968, the year of my birth, minus 13, the record low temperature back in 1968. Just a trace of showers, as you can see on our lens here today. We're still maybe a little touch over 7 inches for the year. That's lower than normal after that very dry November we had. Total snowfall, this is starting from January of 2019 until today. 365 days, 2.5 feet of total snowfall here for the Wenatchee Valley. Sun rose this morning at 7:48. It's set tonight at 4:20. We are gaining a whole minute of daylight per day. Well, let's see what's happening for us for the first day of the year as far as our temperatures are concerned. And you're going to see very warm temperatures for the first day of a new decade. 50 for our friends in Moses Lake, upper 40s for the Basin, 48 at Ephrata, 49 at Quincy, 45 at Ellensburg. We're expecting about 47 here for the Wenatchee Valley tomorrow. As you go up the valley, a little cooler up at Lake Wenatchee, but still warm for this time of year. 41 for the daytime high, 47 at Entiat, 45 in Chelan. Our friends in Omak up about 44 degrees. Now, we'll get a little chilly in the overnight hours as we're looking at this onshore flow, that's what he's calling it. So tonight we're going to get gusty winds, we're going to get rain likely, and temperatures very mild. In fact, warming up higher than it was for the day today, if that makes sense. Coming up New Year's Day, it's going to dry out through the day. We're going to get some gusty winds to help dry things out, maybe a little sunshine tomorrow, so a nice start to the new year. As we look ahead into New Year's night tomorrow night, this onshore flow continues, and we're going to start this pattern that cycles through the nighttime hours. Temperature is going to drop down low enough to give us maybe a slight chance of snow for the valley floor. Definitely snow for the mountains. In fact, the pass is going to get hammered over the next several days. 1 foot to 2 feet of snow falling as you get through tomorrow night and into Thursday. We're looking at this beginning of a system off the coast of Washington that's going to start influencing and come up over the ridge, and that's going to continue this pattern where we're going to see the nighttime snows in the mountains, maybe a few showers here for the valley, upper elevations around 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet. We'll see some snow, probably rain for us, and then some sun breaks in the afternoon. As we look ahead to Friday, we're keeping a close eye on this. It's slamming the Vancouver coast and Vancouver Island. That's going to have a trickle effect for us Friday night and into Saturday, looking for snows again in the Cascades and really snow hammering this portion of the northern Idaho Panhandle and as you head for Montana. So if you're traveling, if you can stay right here in the Wenatchee Valley, you're going to be good. Anything outside of this area, not so good. As we go through the weekend forecast, Saturday we're going to see some drying in the afternoon, maybe a little bit of a sun break by Saturday afternoon. Sunday, kind of the same story. Saturday night, maybe some showers moving in with some snow in the offering for the higher elevations, but then some sun breaks in the afternoon. So let's check our forecast. It's brought to you by Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Our forecast details, well, here you have it. 48 possibly for our high today. That's tonight at about midnight. Strangely, I know we are looking for a definite chance of showers and some very gusty winds forecast for tonight and into tomorrow. They'll diminish, but could get gusts up to 30 miles an hour coming up tonight. That 37 low will happen in the morning hours tomorrow. That's going to leave us with fairly warm temperatures tomorrow, and again, mild for this time of year. We'll start 2020 off with clouds and showers in the morning, but then some sun breaks in the afternoon tomorrow with gusty winds, 47 the high. Nighttime low will get to about 29. So we could see about a 30-degree swing between a daytime high and a nighttime low in the next 24 to 36 hours. Extended forecast as we look through the week. Again, here's that pattern that you see with high temperatures in the 40s, nighttime lows in the 30s. We're going to see showers, possibly some snow coming in the overnight hours. Definitely snow for the higher elevations in north central Washington and in the Cascades. Lots of rain falling in western Washington. Again, those seasonably mild temperatures, 40s for the highs, nighttime lows in the 30s. We'll get some sun breaks as well, thrown in the afternoon. So truly a mixed bag as we start 2020. That's a check of your forecast brought to you by Patriot Plumbing and Cooling. Stay right there. We'll have more on the evening news coming up with sports right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
It's a marvelous markdown at Sangster Buick GMC.
Hi, Corey Sangster, and we're ending the year with a bang. Take advantage of employee pricing on a great selection of new Buick and GMCs. 2019 GMC Sierra 1500 Crew SLT with savings over $11,000. Or this 2019 Buick Encore all-wheel drive up to $7,000 off. Or choose employee pricing. Before you buy, compare price, service, and selection.
December is a marvelous markdown at Sangster Buick GMC or sangstermotors.com.
Travel enhances your life in every way. Let the travel professionals at Journey Travel and Tours help you plan that dream vacation. Don't leave the important details to those nameless, faceless online agencies. At Journey Travel and Tours, our goal is to build relationships that last a lifetime. And when you do need help, we have a 24-hour helpline that is routed to one of the agents in our office. When you think travel, think Journey Travel and Tours. It's where your journey begins. Like us on Facebook, and you could be one of our monthly winners.
When it comes to our community, you can count on Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram to be invested. From supporting community college scholarships through a concert series or participating in a local high school homecoming event, Town Chrysler has always put the community first. Buying local supports the jobs and programs you care about most. When it comes time to buy your next new or used car, SUV, or truck, remember, there's no reason to leave town.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy New Year's Eve to you. Let's take a look at the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard from Preps Hoop on Monday. Eastmont's boys basketball team survived a 41-point performance by Rogers' Evan Nami to win on the road 77-69. The final Wildcats led by the 24 points of Evan Smith and 22 from Isaac Wellborn. Eastmont improved to 4-4 overall and will have the couple of days off until they'll travel to Pasco on Friday. Girls basketball, Eastmont held Rogers to single digits in all four quarters, winning 59-28. Wildcats were led by the 13 points of Jaden Brown, 11 from Megan Chandler. Was Eastmont's first win of the season. They hope to build on that Friday in Pasco. On the prep calendar for today, well, it goes dark for the next few days, but we'll have some stuff here on the NCWLIFE channel. We'll begin with some prep action coming up tonight. We're going back to January 8th of 2018 as Wenatchee hosts Davis in Big Nine Wrestling. Hockey Thursday features Powell River at Wenatchee from that December 21st game. And then on Friday, we'll feature a game from last February between the Wenatchee boys and Moses Lake Chiefs in basketball. If you missed last weekend, the broadcast of the Wenatchee Eastmont girls bowling match from earlier this month, we'll have that Saturday at 1 o'clock. Then Saturday night, Wenatchee girls in Eisenhower from last year. We'll be back to broadcast live sports here on the NCWLIFE channel coming up on January 10th. We'll be at the Town Toyota Center for a triple header. Wenatchee and Eastmont started off with Unified, then the girls, and then the boys right here on your home for local sports. College football bowl season continues today. Had 5 more games on tap. Belk Bowl turned out to be a barn burner. Kentucky scored a 13-yard pass play with 15 seconds left. Won it 37-30. Underway right now, Utah and Texas in the Valero Alamo Bowl on ESPN. After your revelry for the new year tonight, there are 4 more bowl games coming up tomorrow, featured by the Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual. Number 6 Oregon takes on number 8 Wisconsin. The Pac-12, by the way, 2-2 in bowl games so far after Cal's 35-20 win over Illinois last night to end the Red Box Bowl. Well, Pete Carroll met with reporters yesterday afternoon at Seahawks practice facility in Renton. He said he's glad they have another game to focus on rather than have to the season end with Sunday's heartbreaking loss.
We were fortunate going into the game that we're going to be playing this next week, and there was some, obviously differences in the outcome of the game. We'd be playing here versus playing on the road, and all that. But we're thrilled about getting going again and getting after this playoff thing and see how far we can go with it. And we anticipate, we're going to be on the road, and that's something that we've done really well, and we're going to try to handle that really well.
Now, Carroll says the best news moving forward is that Seattle still has a running game, despite losing their top 2 running backs to injuries.
I thought Travis Homer played great football for us. He looked good in all phases, run and pass throughout the game, consistent. You can see how aggressive he is, and you can see the burst that he has. And the toughness that he brings as well. He's not quite as big as some of the other guys we've played with, but he runs just as hard or harder than anybody we have. And you can feel him, and that's kind of what we like, in our running backs, the kind of guys you can feel their intensity and the tenacity that they bring. It was a game that lets us look down the road now with Marshawn coming and helping us out and did well. He came out of the game very healthy, at least today he is, and he contributed, and so that gives us really a really good 1-2 punch with he and Homer running the football in the playoffs. And there was last week we didn't know where we were going to be, but we feel like we have style and a way to go about it.
Now on the injury front from the game, Michael Kendricks is out for the season with a knee injury, going to need surgery on that one. Looks good though, as Quandre Diggs should be able to be back for the game at Philadelphia. Also, Jerome Brown hoping to do a little practice on Friday, the end of the week, to get ready for the weekend. By the way, Seattle plays at Philly, NFC wildcard game Sunday at 1:40. You can watch the game on NBC. Now, going back to Sunday's loss, in the play before what proved to be the final play of the game, there appeared to be a pass interference that went uncalled. Now, following the controversy of a no-call pass interference in last year's NFC Championship game between New Orleans and L.A., the NFL changed its rules to allow review of those types of plays. This season, a coach could challenge pass interference outside the final 2 minutes. Inside the final 2 minutes of the first half or the game's end, pass interference calls would be reviewed by the NFL in New York. Now, following Sunday's game in which Jacob Hollister appeared to be interfered with by a San Francisco linebacker, NFL came out and said that they did review the play but found no evidence of interference. Seahawks coach Pete Carroll says there's a fundamental problem with any replays in that they depend on the television broadcast ability, or lack thereof, to see it.
I don't mind saying that the system is based on the television replays. What New York has to do with it. On the field, it hasn't been any different. It's been very similar. The officials they've called the season just like they've always called it, and then they've left the next level of the decision making up to what's going on in New York. And I can't imagine, if we want to work to make this thing as good as it can possibly be, that we should be victim sometimes to what the TV copy has, as opposed to all the other angles that we could present. I think the coach's copy, along with the TV copy of a play that was in question in this game, can be aided by seeing when the ball came out from the side view, and so that they can make a determination of where was the ball and the flight and the action and how that all happened. And so I think that there's advances yet to go to make it even better. If we're going to rely on an outside source to factor in, I think we should give them everything that's available, not just what happens to be on the broadcast that day and they got a good shot of it or they didn't. And so there's a lot of, and I know they're talking about that kind of stuff too, but we need to keep working on it if we're going to go this way.
Seattle hopes to get a well-called game Sunday in Philadelphia, reviews or not. Happy New Year, everybody. That's Sports. I'm Eric Granstrom, and Mr. Robbins, back to you.
Thank you, Eric, and Happy New Year. Finally from us tonight, a Wenatchee man convicted of bringing methamphetamine into a Chelan County Regional Justice Center hallway must undergo a new trial. The State Court of Appeals ruled today that 56-year-old Lanny Lee Griffith may have been subjected to an unreasonable search in 2017 when security guards at the courthouse checked his coat and found drugs in the pocket. Griffith was on his way to the county clerk's office to pay a legal fine. A judge sentenced him to 6 months in jail, but his incarceration has been put on hold during his appeal. A new trial must determine whether to suppress the evidence and whether the search was in keeping with Chelan County's security policy. And that's going to do it for our last newscast of 2019. The handsome face of Dan Kuntz will be the next one you see to tell us what to expect on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley in 2020. Dan?
Thank you very much, Jefferson. Start out your new year the local way, right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Tomorrow we're going to be here. I'm going to have cotton mouth and red eyes, and I'm probably not going to shout. Oh, wait a minute. We don't work tomorrow. That's right. We don't work till Thursday. In which case, I won't have cotton mouth, and I won't be blurry-eyed with red eyes, because we won't be back until Tuesday, January 2nd, with a brand new year of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'd love to have you start your day with us on the NCWLIFE channel. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from 7 to 8 a.m. on Thursday. Have a good and safe new year. Jefferson, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or on our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening we'd like to hear from you, you can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call, 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. Filling in for Grant Olson, I'm Jefferson Robbins. Thanks for watching us all throughout 2019. From all of us at NCW Life, Happy New Year.
NCW Life Channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and Other Stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life Channel is your local TV station.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.